want to bring in Patrick Poole, a national terrorism expert, and the truth for the truth behind a radical mosque. Patrick, you know this stuff better than everybody. Media is portraying this as a moderate mosque and has Homeland Security made some comments. Have they done anything specific on this mosque lately?
Well, in fact, one of the things that Homeland Security did back several years ago is wipe out all of the open source information, stuff that you can find in all the various newspapers, the New York Sun, the Boston Globe, who've been covering the extremism in this mosque for more than a decade. And Homeland Security, within their own system, wiped all that information out in late 2010 at the demand of the White House.
This is amazing. I feel like we find ourselves here over and over again.
Yes.
Is this deja vu, or am I actually in the same place that we keep finding ourselves in this place where somebody does something terrible and no one on the right says, oh, every single Muslim is bad. We all understand that there are bad actors in every faith, but there is a serious problem going on here with radicalism within Islam, and it needs to be sorted out somehow.
And there are pipelines that these terrorists really roll out of. I mean, it's no secret. You don't have to indict the entire Muslim community to say that there's a problem. And in fact, these extremist groups, one of the things they do is they basically use the Muslim community as a human shield. You criticize us, you're criticizing all Muslims. Group like the Council on American Islamic Relations, the Islamic Society of North America, the Islamic Society of Boston. You criticize us, you're criticizing all Muslims. Well, the fact is these groups don't represent the Muslim community. They represent the Muslim Brotherhood and their Wahhabi masters in the Middle East.
Tell me about the Islamic Society of Boston, because these guys are involved specifically with this mosque, right?
Exactly, and you covered it earlier. The group was founded by Abdurrahman al-Amoudi, the Al-Qaeda fundraiser, who's currently in federal prison. Yusuf Qaradawi was a trustee. And in fact, that clip that you showed where Qaradawi was talking about, I support Islamic Jihad, I support Hezbollah, I support Hamas. My former neighbor, Dr. Salah Sultan, who was a regular speaker at the Islamic Society of Boston, was sitting 2 chairs away from him. And he was someone that we covered in the Project documentary back in September, the Blaze documentary, with, you know, many of your viewers might remember that. I mean, these are the people that they were bringing into the Islamic Society of Boston, not just once or twice. It's been historic for its entire duration.
You can watch that documentary online, by the way, on demand, and it does give you a great background about all the stuff we're talking about. Tell me about the purging of the ISB records, because I think a lot of people throw that out there. Well, they're purging records, they're deleting things, they're trying to hide things. And sometimes you look through those claims and it winds up not really being true. The information's still out there, but this is real.
Exactly. The Homeland Security records, and we know that there are more than just the Islamic Society of Boston, from what I'm told by congressional investigators who've been briefed on this purge of information. There are hundreds of records involved, and many of these organizations and individuals are directly involved with the Obama administration. Some of the very same people that we covered in the Project documentary, which again you can watch on demand on The Blaze.
Yeah, so wait till the show's over, please. Just don't just run away right now.
Don't turn this off right now.
Yes, it's better than this stupid show, but you know, wait a couple minutes.
But this is stuff that we've been covering here at The Blaze for several years, and I think now with these bombings, hopefully this is what's getting the attention of the members of Congress, because myself and some of my colleagues, we've been briefing these members for the past 2 years, sometimes longer, about some of these issues.
Yeah.
And just here over the past week, we've been hearing from them. Okay, I finally get it, that this is a problem. And unfortunately, it takes dead Americans on our streets to finally wake up our political leadership. Now, on the other hand, the administration, they're doubling down. You know, what you were, this new statement by Napolitano. What is this, her 4th or 5th story on this Saudi kid? You know, last week it was another Saudi kid with the exact same name and birth date and build.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. But now they're saying, oh, well, yeah, we added him to the terror watch list as a precaution. and as Glenn discussed last night, that does not happen.
I hope not. It shouldn't.
In order to get put on the terror watch list, you have to have the entire consensus of the Homeland Security, the National Counterterrorism Center, the entire Homeland Security community has to agree for somebody to do that. And we know that he had entries prior to the bombing in his text file. So, you know, Napolitano, how can we believe a single thing that this administration, you know, today we see the GOP rolling out this new Benghazi report that says that, you know, the State Department changed the Benghazi talking points not to protect classified information, which was their story back then, but to protect the fact that they completely failed, going all the way up to Secretary of State Hillary Clinton at that time, to cover their behinds, that they had failed to provide adequate security in Benghazi. You know, of course, we don't want to get into the fact that the reason that one of the reasons this report's being rolled out by the Republicans in Congress is to protect the fact that John Boehner was aware that they were moving weapons out of Libya into Turkey and to the Syrian rebels, which we've now designated as global terrorists. But that's a whole other program.
You're sort of depressing me here with this track, because, you know, you're right. The Benghazi thing is a great example of this. You know, it's like a new show. American Idol starts up. Everyone's watching American Idol. Everyone loves American Idol. By season 12, everyone's like, all right, these people are singing. I think they start at the beginning with the bad singers, and by the end, there's one halfway decent one, and we're supposed to like them. You get the pattern. And this has happened so many times. Benghazi is a great example. Benghazi, really important. We held on to it as tightly as we could at The Blaze, but the entire media abandoned it. What are they going to do with this story? How are we going to stop this story from the same fate?
Well, as we're seeing with this Saudi kid story, whether he was involved or not, the fact is that the information within the system itself was directly contradictory to what Napolitano and ICE were telling members of Congress, which is a crime. When Napolitano went into an oversight hearing last week and was asked by Congressman Duncan about this, she lied. I mean, what she just told Senator Grassley is a direct contradiction to what she told Duncan last Thursday. She lied. It's a crime. These guys need to start going to prison.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's...
Not that I hold strong opinions.
No, I noticed that a little bit from you, Patrick. Let's talk about not just the founders of this mosque, because the mosque is kind of where we're trying to look a little bit deeper at the moment, because we're left to pick up the pieces of what they're not telling us. We're left to pick up the pieces of the untrue statements. You have not just the founders of this mosque, but the current imam. We have a clip of him. This is, what's his name? Abdullah Farouk?
Farouk, yes.
Farouk, okay. This is him. Tell me this isn't a serious problem. Watch.
الله سلط عليهم طوال التاريخ من يؤدبهم نتيجة إفسادهم. آخر تأديب كان تأديب هتلر، ما فعل بهم، وإن كان مبالغوا في الأمر ما بلغوا، ولكن استطاع أن يعني يوقفهم عند حدودهم، وكان هذا أدبا إلهيا، تأديبا إلهيا، وعقابا قدريا لهؤلاء.
So that was, I guess, a different clip.
That was Karwadawi.
Yeah, Karwadawi again.
But the clip you're referring to with Abdullah Farouk, the current imam, he says, look, we can't just do jihad by activism and writing letters. We need to do jihad by the sword and the gun. Yeah. And this is the guy who was embraced by Governor Duvall, who's been praised by Mayor Menino. I mean, it's noxious stuff. One of the other imams at the mosque, Suhaib Webb, 2 days before the 9/11 attacks, he was at a fundraiser for convicted cop killer Jamel ElAmin, with Anwar Awlaki. And these are the guys that are being trotted out by the media, the LA Times, Associated Press, the Boston Globe. All these guys are moderate. They have nothing to do. And strangely enough, the Boston Globe was very critical in their editorial policies of the mosque just a couple years ago. But now in this situation, it's ignore the man behind the curtain. Ignore all those editorials that we printed just 5 years ago.
Why the fear, though? This is the time that people would unite with you to say, what's going on at this place?
But that's precisely what they're trying to avoid. Because
they're trying to avoid people agreeing with the facts?
Well, not just in this situation, but all these situations that keep popping up. It's always ignore the man behind the curtain. With Napolitano and Assadi, ignore the facts. The facts as you look at them, the prima facie, reading of these, that's not really the way it is. I mean, most of our policy is built off, it's like a guy who gets caught in bed by his wife with another woman, and he jumps up and says, wait, this isn't what it looks like. I mean, this is what the media and what the administration and even members of Congress, this is how they behave. They jump up and say, wait, this isn't what it looks like. With this mosque, this isn't what it looks like. They're actually moderate.
Yeah.
This Saudi kid, it's...
You're just depressing me.
It's another kid.
You're just depressing me at this point, Patrick. You're just depressing me.
Well, I have some Xanax. We can...
We'll pop a few in the break.
Pop a few, yeah.
We'll be back in a second.